Hi, welcome back. And today we're going to be doing things a little bit different. So I'm going to be sharing things that you need to know before you actually start buying a used car. So I actually find this to be very useful. So the first one, there's a website that I actually came across recently. That website is called carpricevalue.co.za. So it's a local website. So what it does is that it shows you the price of the car and shows you whether are you getting the value that you're supposed to be paying, or are you saving, or you're actually paying more than what you're supposed to get for the car. Okay, let's go to a popular website, which is CarTrader. CarTrader. Obviously we're going to the SA region. For example, which car can we start with? Let's start with the one that is that is in high demand. Let's just say Polo. Doesn't matter which body type. Let's just say Polo Vivo and Polo. Search and let's see. Okay, for example, we have a Polo here. So I'm gonna take this Polo. So this Polo is actually going for the amount. Let's go up. It's going for the amount of 245,000 and it has 9,000 kilometers. So what you do, you just copy that website link and you go to this website and you just paste. Then you say look up the car value. So what it does is that, I'm not so sure in terms of the algorithm that it uses, but I suspect that it actually goes to the website, to many different websites, and actually check, okay, cars with these kilometers, how many kilometers in terms of this one, what does this car usually go for on the market, and what is the recommended price. So for example, for this one, with this current kilometers for this variant, it usually goes for this price and you are paying for this price. So it shows you in terms of, okay, you're actually saving this amount, and it's very useful, to be honest with you. It's very useful because I feel like as people in the market for cars, we're actually paying too much. So okay, we have another car here. Let's see in terms of the kilometers. So this is a 2024 Golf GTI and you're paying 11,000 per month. So obviously that doesn't counter anything in terms of what you pay in terms of the actual price, because it has to be affected by a lot of things, such as your credit score, such as the amount of interest rate that you get from the bank. So let's see in terms of this one, look up. Okay, here's something that you didn't expect. So this car, the current one that you're looking at, if you are to buy it, so the dealership is ripping you off 100,000. Imagine you're getting ripped off 22%, because 100,000, that's usually something that even if you pay deposit, a lot of people are not going to pay 100,000. So this car, this variant, is supposed to go with these current kilometers, and it actually shows you in terms of the market here. So sometimes you'll find that the same car is uploaded in different websites at different prices. That can happen. So let's see if there's another car which is a variant. Let's just check this listing. Yeah, here. So we have the same car, the same model, not the same car, I'm just saying the same model. So this one is 13,000 kilometers, but look at the amount of saving. You're saving 100,000. So if you go back, we have this one with 9. Basically that's brand new. Let's open. So that listing is no longer available. Let's check another one, still not available. So most of the times the dealerships, after the car has been bought, they will take down that car. So look what it does. This is a new car that you found and you're actually saving a lot more. So this website it's very good to actually play around. So what can we do? Someone mentioned that weelee is very expensive very recently on my last video. So let's go to the weelee website and actually check maybe 1 or 2 cars and check out in fact that are they actually overpricing their cars, or their cars are actually on the affordable range? Yeah, let's start here with the car that most ladies love, the Picanto, or what the other guys call it, but the Pikachu. So let's see, is this a good buy? So this car actually has 92,000 kilometers, if you saw. So let's see. I don't know why this listing is not showing, but that's weird, unless if somehow we can't check using the weelee websites, and that would be kind of bad actually. Let's check another car just to see, just to experiment if really you can check any listing. Ooh, okay, we don't support any car listings from weelee, so that's bad. So if you're actually buying cars from weelee, just know that you won't know that whether you're getting ripped off or not. So let's check another one, which is WeBuyCars. Let's just see if they support them, to see if you'll be able to compare and see if WeBuyCars is giving you good value for money. Okay, so I want to check expensive cars such as BMW. These are cars which are in very high demand, to a point that people are not, they're actually willing to pay for some which have like 100,000 kilometers. Okay, let's start with this one. This is a 1 series. This 1 series has 13,000 kilometers. Okay, it is everything, the M Sport package. But let's see in terms of this listing if we can actually see whether this is a good value. So you're actually saving 164,000. So usually this car with the current mileage, it will go for that amount of price, which is very high, because you know cars are very expensive. So anything that can actually help you to actually be able to compare whether you're getting a good value in terms of cars, especially people who don't have experience with cars, actually checking on the market to be able to see, okay, am I getting a good value? I don't know whether this car goes at which price range. Is the dealership trying to rob me? So there's a lot of things that you have to consider, and I feel like as people this is very useful, you know, because any amount of money that we are able to save if we want to buy a car, it's useful, to be honest. It's very useful. Especially what happens is that in today's market, some manufacturers, they're actually selling used cars with a sticker price of a new price. So being able to go on this website as someone who doesn't know the sticker price of a car, and I feel like if you want to buy a car, you need to know the sticker price of the car, or the MSRP, which is the manufacturer recommended price. So you need to know about that, so that you know that, okay, this dealership, is it ripping me off, or I'm actually getting good value for money. So yeah, this is the website that I wanted to share, but there's also other things that I wanted to share. So before you buy a car, okay, for example, let me make an example of we just using a high mileage car. Let's go back to WeBuyCars. For example, let me just say a Benz, a Mercedes Benz. So there's something that I felt like there's a lot of us actually we don't look at, especially an old car. I want a car which has a bit high kilometers that someone would buy. Let's go. Okay, let me use this one as an example. So if I open this car, so the first thing that I actually do when I open the car, I'm very interested in actually seeing the undercarriage of the car, how the car looks in undercarriage. So the undercarriage of the car can actually tell you a lot about the car. I'm surprised why here I don't have any pictures from the undercarriage of the car. Where is the other pictures? Okay, it's fine, I wasn't able to get that information. Let me go to another car. Let's just see in terms of pictures, what pictures do they have. Okay, I think to be able to see that, I should go to the DECRA report to be able to get all the pictures. Okay, yeah, here's the undercarriage. You can actually see the undercarriage actually tells you a lot about a car in terms of the last driver who was driving this car. Was this car driven in an area where there's sand, such as next to the ocean? Because you know that salt from the ocean, it actually makes the car to be able to rust faster. So the undercarriage can actually tell you a lot in terms of the car. So one thing that you need to know if you're buying a used car, just know that you're gonna need to perform a lot of services, especially in the long run. So for example, let's talk about suspension. That's something that I also overlooked in the past. So the suspension of the car is a very important aspect of the car. So as the car starts to get old, the suspension is the one that actually feels the most pressure. So every time, every hump that you hit, the suspension suffers because the car will be flexing. So this is the front suspension, this is the back suspension of this car. So as we can see, so these are rear tires, left and right rear tires, and also we have the front tire. So every time when the car is climbing a pothole, the suspension actually suffers. So even the ball joints that you can see here. So in the long run, it's a car that is driven at least 100,000 kilometers. These aspects of the car, they suffer a lot. So I can already tell you that if you buy an expensive car, whether it's a Beamer, a BMW, Mercedes-Benz, whatever, if it's a high mileage, what you need to do, you need to know, okay, what is the price of these things, because you're definitely gonna need to replace them in the long run, and it's going to be a very painful aspect in the pocket. So there's a lot of things that you need to put into consideration, especially if you're buying a car that's expensive or a German brand, because these are things that you need to replace. So the other thing that's very important, obviously, is the tires. I'll tell you that actually buy a car which actually have a good trend of the tires. So I think these are things that are very important. So the other thing that's important, if you know that you're gonna buy an old used car, you're gonna need to do a lot of maintenance and a lot of things. As kilometers start to rise, a lot of things are gonna start to fail. I recently just changed the front headlamp for my car. One day I was busy driving in Germiston at night, and initially the lights were working, both of them. Then this one time I stopped, I'm busy flashing the brights at my friend, and I could see, nah man, something is not right. Why is this side dark? Until I went to the front, I actually saw that the dim of the light is actually dead. So I needed to replace that light. It was cheap. The light was actually around 50 rand to actually replace the light. So that's because the lights are not LED. So if the LED dies, for example, we have this Mercedes-Benz here, this one is using LED, as we can see. So if one of that LED dies, you need to know, are you gonna be able to replace it? Because this is a used car. You're not gonna find it for 50 rand. You're gonna need to pay, and for some of them to be able to replace the front lights, you need to replace this whole light instead of the individual light. So those are things. So my advice is that people who are actually buying used cars, I would say that stay away from any German brands. Maybe you can try things like Polos, not the one with the 1 liter engine, because that 1 liter engine is crap in the long run. It starts to leak oil because they're pumping a lot of air using the turbo into a small engine, and you've seen how people drive Polos. So guys, that's all that I wanted to share today in terms of quick things that people need to know if they're buying a used car, and that very useful website that provides you a lot of things and helps you to save in terms of money before you actually decide that, okay, this car is actually good. You'll actually find that other dealerships actually offering more for far less. And for example, here's one. This one is in the Haval dealership, as you can see, which means that someone came with this car and actually traded in and took a Haval. So if you go there, you actually win. So thank you for watching, and for those who are new, please subscribe, and for those who enjoy this type of content, Definitely, I'll see you on the next one.